So today what I'm going to do is show you how you can get hydroponics started in anything, whether it's a cup, a pot, pail, even a water bottle. So let's go to it. So what I want to do is show you how you can use anything that you can put these little net cups in. Now these net cups is what you put your grow medium in so that it'll have a little container to put and be able to grow out of. You'll see the plants and everything growing out of this little out of the container. Now the grow medium is the Rockwool, and I will show you how to do that in just a second. But I wanted to show you the different ways in which you can actually put this. Now the reason why I have string on here is I wanted to show you when you have a container that's too small, you can easily go ahead and take this one here, just so you know, with the little arms. I didn't even know this existed. I seen these all the time. These don't have any arms, and these kind of just, you know, you wonder how you're going to get these to fit inside everything because it just falls to the bottom. These ones here with the little arms is perfect. Now you can chance it sometimes just to do this, but when you're in a situation like this where the container is that wide, you probably want to still anchor it a little bit. So what you do is you tie twine to each end and just kind of run it underneath. And you can even glue this down if you want to, and just tie it to the other side so that you have an anchor of holding this thing down. Now sometimes you'll find something that fits and it's just a little bit wide. These arms are just fine. You sit there and you just put them on top. Let me get that going, and just connect it to the sides, and just like that you have your little cup. The reason why these cups are so important is because you can take these cups out and put them in something that's more permanent, and it just makes life easy. You can even sit there. This is a water bottle. In oceans deep, my faith will. 1 Corinthians 16:13. That's the way to go, y'all. But anyway, you can take this here, stick it in there just like that, and now you have yourself a full container where you can fill up with nutrients and water and put your Rockwool right inside, and your plant can literally, depending on the size of the plant, you could probably leave it in here, or you can switch it out to something else. So what I want to do now is show you how you get started and how the Rockwool will fit and how it will actually eventually end up looking. So so what I'm going to do right now is show you my tomato plant. So this is a tomato plant. I have this sitting right now in a cup. I did put Mylar around it. You don't have to use Mylar. This is just simply something that I had available, and I wrapped it because light is your enemy inside your tank or anything that you have your water growing in, because you do not want to have any type of algae growing in it. It can kill your plant, and then you have to just simply start all over again. So what I'm going to show you right now is how I get started with getting this setup going here for you. So right now I have Rockwool. You could buy Rockwool in any size. They have this size here. This is like a 2-inch one. They have this at 1.5 inches. They even have this one, which is like a 3-inch size of Rockwool. If you're growing something that's going to be a large plant, you definitely want to use something like this. But what we're going to do, and Rockwool, just so you know, is a grow medium. Basically, it's rock spun into a material like this, an absorbent material in which you can put your seeds in. So what we're going to do is we're going to use 2 of these right now. I'm not going to use these. This would be for something that's very tiny, and I'm not going to really use it. So what I'm going to do is get these wet. You want to get these completely wet. I typically squeeze out any extra water so that it's just not dripping wet, but you want it wet because you have to put the seeds inside so the seeds can start to germinate. So let me get this under some water, and I'll be right back. So there's a couple of ways in how we can get this started. You can literally leave the Rockwool in this, put your seeds in the top, and then go about your day and just cover it up. Now these are seedling trays that I purchased from Amazon. What you can do is simply get these and squeeze these right into these little holes here. They don't go all the way to the bottom. At least I don't push them all the way to the bottom. And just stick them in there. Just know what plant is what. I've labeled them somehow. And just put them in here. You don't need extra water because you've already soaked the Rockwool. And then you can just go ahead and start by putting your seeds in. And what makes this so nifty is that it comes with a dome. It has a dome like this so that you can put in your tent, or you can cover it. Some seedlings require you to have it start out in darkness. Some of them require light. But with this, it's a humidity dome, so that way it stays nice and warm in there, and it can help with the germination of the seedlings. I do that sometimes, but what I'd rather do is I kind of like starting them in the net cups, and the reason why I like doing that is because then I don't have to take them out, put them in a net cup, and then turn around and put them in something else that they're going to grow permanently. So what I do is simply take this, and I like using the 2-inch Rockwool because they fit perfectly in almost anything. Reason why is because you can always put your clay pebbles, which you'll see that I'll have, over this, or you can use something else. This here goes in there like that. It can go in there like that, and it'll even, you can get them, I'd rather use the 1.5-inch ones, but you can squeeze them in here as well. But for right now, what I'm going to show you is how you get your seedling started in this. So I got a treat for you. Hold on a second. Hold on. So here is, I don't know if you remember those old photo boxes parents used to have and have all these myriad of photos of the family. Well, guess what? You can now, if you got one, use it for something else. And this is what you can use it for. What I do is, this is my seed organization. This is, again, another product I got from Amazon. It's basically a box that has individual boxes in them, like this. And basically, you can put, what I do is I organize my seeds with this. Like, this will tell me what seeds I have in there. I'll know what date, when I put them in there, and so on. You do want to kind of keep a record of everything you got, so you know when seeds are about to go bad. But these actually are just simply picture photo boxes. And you can repurpose this if you have one at home. They got smaller ones and so on. And I'll put links in this below as well. But you can just go ahead and organize your seeds that way. So what seeds are we going to plant today? Let's try. Let's go ahead and do some Tom Thumb peas. How's that? Put your little name on what that is. These are my Tom Thumb peas. And this kit, actually this kit, came with a very special tool. You don't need a tool, but you know, it's nice to have them. This here is where I can actually put a hole, make it a little bit bigger, so that I can go ahead and put my seeds in it. So basically all I do is push this in a little bit. And if you could see here, this is like just a big enough hole so that the seedlings can go into. I do that, and I'll do it on both of them. See, just that simple. And then I can go ahead and drop my seedlings right into them. So that's what I'm about to do now. I'm gonna take 2 of these out. And I'll have links to all of this stuff below, so you'll be able to see what I'm doing. So I've got 2 Tom Thumb peas out right now. And I'm gonna drop 1 and then 2 into each one of these holes. Now with these, I kind of like covering them. They seem to grow better and germinate when it's dark. So what I'm gonna do is put it in, let's see, I'll put it in here and cover it. But I just want to show you first how you can use each one of these tools. So what you do though, is you want to take, once you drop your peas or your whatever it is you're gonna plant, you want to cover it up because you don't want to leave it exposed. Now, there are some vegetables that require sunlight to germinate, so you don't want to do that for those. You just want to make sure you read the instructions for whatever seed you decide to buy. So I'm going to do that for that one, and then I'm going to do that for this one. And again, this is just me covering up the hole so that it's not, hopefully you can see that, it's so that you don't see an actual hole there, because the darkness will help these particular seeds to grow. So let me clean up my space here. Now I meant to show you one other container that I had. This is a flower pot container. Now this works best with dirt, and that's because the inside itself is a container and the string sits out, and it's sort of like a hydroponic, but again, it works best with dirt. This sits in here, so it's a watering pot. So you fill your pot with the water and nutrients in there. You put your soil in there and your seeds, and then you just simply sit this in. So because this is sitting in water, these little strings sit in the water, and basically it absorbs the water into the plant that you're growing in this. Now, I find this to be just a little bit too big to try to sit there and grow this and do anything with hydroponics with straight water. So what I do, believe it or not, it's a simple fix. Remember that mylar I was showing you earlier? What I do is simply attach this to the top. Now, I can use any one of this, a net cup or anything, and then, because I used this once with this, I punched a hole in the middle, and I even cut this through the side just so that if I had a plant that was already established, I'd be able to go ahead and just slide it on in there. So this way, when you see this, let me show you, I can stick that in there. See how nice and tight that is? You take this, you put it on top, and what I did is just took some tape on the sides to hold it down, and voila, you've got a hydroponic container, just like that. Easy. There is nothing much to do with this. And what I did with this, let me show you this other little trick that I came up with. So say you've got this little tin here. It's like a little, I don't know, little pail that I found at Target. $3. It came with a pack of 3. What I do, and just so you can see, this is the mylar. It comes in a roll. It's like I said, it's insulation. Something that you don't even have to get. You can get something else. You can use cardboard. You could use styrofoam or so on. Cardboard I'd probably stay away from, because if it got wet, and you're looking at a mess on your hands there, so you probably won't leave that alone. But this works perfectly. Let me show you what I do. So I take this, I will literally just simply trace around the top. Doesn't have to be pretty. Because remember, in hydroponics, inside your tank, light is your enemy. So what we do here, got me some scissors. I just cut the hole out. Just do it just like that. And it's not like it has to be a perfect circle or anything. But I've done this when I was needing something larger or smaller or something like that with another item that I had. And voila. So then what I do, look at how easy this is. You take your seedling that you've already put in the grow medium, you drop it right on in just like that. Now, normally you would go ahead and fill it up with the clay pebbles. I don't do that right now because I want the plant to grow out of this little container. So I'll wait till it gets established a bit and then I'll throw it in there. But the way that I go about protecting this is you just simply take this. There's all kinds of little things out there that you guys can do, little tricks, everything. See? Right there. And what I'll do is take this, let this hang just from side to side, like I did before. Of course, you would have water in the bottom there. You don't want water to cover the whole thing. You just want this, and this, let me rephrase that. Okay, because it's a seedling, you don't water in there at all. You're gonna just keep this wet. Keep the Rockwool wet until you see it finally sprouting. This little container is probably better used for seedlings because there is not enough room in the bottom for this to be, if you look at the size, there's not enough room in the bottom to keep it watered or so on, because once roots start growing, it'll absorb water like crazy and then you would never be able to continue using this. But as a seedling, as you're trying to start this, this is fantastic. You just take this, you put it on there, and it hooks onto the sides just like that. Then what I would do is take my little thingy here, put it right on top, and put some tapes right on the side here. And that tape is just to hold this down. That's all it is. It's nothing more. Just to hold it down, keep it from picking up. And just like that, you got yourself a hydroponic container. Now, one thing I will say is, again, remember I said light is your enemy and so on. In this case, because this is a seedling that requires darkness, I would just probably have left this closed and not opened it. But for something else, what you could do is, once again, Amazon to the rescue. So Amazon has these little tops. So for something that needs a little bit of light, guess what? Place that right on top. There you have it. You got yourself a seedling tray. And that's all you have to do. And then what this does is, because it's clear, you can look and see when your seedling is germinating. And then once it's germinated and so on, you want to bring it out into the light. So even if it's a plant that requires darkness to germinate, once it's germinated and you see a seedling coming up out of there, you want to go ahead and get it into the light so that it'll go ahead and grow. So another thing I'm going to show you. One moment, please. So you see this little container right here, okay? Again, in oceans deep, my faith will. 1 Corinthians 16:13. At first you didn't know, now you know. So anyway, back to this. So what I'm going to do is stick this right in here. You can probably try to push it down, but in this case, the lid, the top is as big as it's going to get. You don't have to use the hook ones for this. You can use smaller ones. This one can go in there, but it sticks out a bit because it's a different size net cup. So this would be just fine for something like what I'm doing here. I would do something like this and then fill this up with water. Now, again, water is your enemy when you are doing hydroponics. Let me show you something else. You got some of this at home? Look at what this does. It's rude and crude, but it works. Voila. Now you bring instant darkness to the container itself. And wrap it around. Some people get it all the way up to the neck, but you know, this is fine. And when you take a look at that. You don't see any light going, except for the light from my camera, of course. But there's no light coming in there. I found these at Burlington. It's a water mug for $6.99, I think it is. And it's just that simple. I can take this and put it just like that in there. I could even take something like my tomato plant here, which is inside of a plastic cup, and basically take these out and stick it in there. And quite honestly, this is so long, you could probably get these to just simply grow in there for a while. But again, you want to get something that's not going to require so much water or so on, because then you're going to want to get something that's a little bit more permanent, that's going to be bigger. So for instance, I have 3.5 gallon bins in there. So after a while, I'm going to go ahead and just transplant these into those bins just to make sure that they have more than enough space to be able to grow and for their roots to go wild and crazy. So basically, these are all the different ways in which you can actually create your own hydroponic kit at home. You don't have to buy anything special. The only thing is that, like I said, with this, the net cups work because they usually go into something that's, you know, usually around the same size. It seems to be, whenever you buy anything that's like got a turn cap or anything like that, they almost all seem to have kind of a standard size from small to large. So if you notice, like a net cup like this, who would have thought that that would fit in there just like that? So it's kind of like seems like a standard for a lot of different things that you buy. But honestly, this is the easiest thing that you can do to get started. And if you can get your hands on some of these seedling trays, this is just as good, because especially for seedlings that require light, when you stick these in here, just kind of squeeze them. You're not squeezing them all the way to the bottom. You're just kind of pushing them in so that they'll have a stable base to sit in there. And even if you have to fill this up with water, think about that. It automatically will water the actual seedling for you. But you can do that, and it has the dome that you can use in order to just put on top, and you can just let it sit out until you actually start getting seedlings. Now, just so you know, I started hydroponics because I like fresh vegetables. I kind of got tired of ordering salads and stuff sometimes from some places, and you get the salad and it looks like it's been sitting on a shelf for several days already before you even got it. So I decided to do it myself. The only problem is that because of my apartment, the way it's situated, I get wonderful light coming in, but not enough light to grow anything. So this is why I started hydroponics. The lighting systems, everything you can get on a pretty decent dime. You do not have to spend a lot of money in order to get this started. I mean, look at this. This is nothing but a water bottle, aluminum foil, and a net cup. The only thing that you'll probably, and just so you know too, by the way, with the Rockwool, you don't even have to use Rockwool. I've known people to germinate things in a cotton ball. I've known people to germinate things even in paper towels, and including different grow mediums, sponges and different things like that. I like Rockwool because it's natural. It comes from rocks. I mean, when you go out in nature, you see leaves and stuff growing around rocks all the time. So it's pretty simple. It does not break the bank. They got like all different size sheets that you can buy. They come all together and you just simply cut them apart. And it literally is just the easiest thing and the easiest way to get started growing your own vegetables. So I hope that this material has been satisfying to somebody out there. I know I talk fast, and I don't know, sometimes I have to check myself and it's really back in a couple 100 yards. But if there's anything else that you want me to do a video on in regards to hydroponics, anything that you need to know, please comment to me in the comments there. Let me know. I'll be more than happy to go ahead and answer any questions. I won't say that I know everything, but I will go ahead and find out for you. So I hope this has been satisfying. If so, could you please hit that like button and subscribe? I'd like to grow my channel because this is something I enjoy doing. So you all be blessed, stay safe, and this is Hydro Betty. Take care of yourself. Have a good one.